hallaca. Is corn. Inside we have beef, pork, and chicken. And it's the like the national plate in Venezuela during holiday time. You go to every house and you have that with another. That is called hallaca.
Welcome to Gluten Free YYC. My name is Maggie Mackenzie, and I live in Calgary, Alberta, aka YYC. I've been diagnosed with celiac disease for about 10 years now, and that means that I can't safely eat gluten.
Celiac disease is an autoimmune disease, and it causes a permanent disability to digest gluten. And gluten is found in wheat, in barley, in rye, and in triticale. And it's a protein. When you are diagnosed with celiac disease, that means that you cannot digest that protein that is found in gluten.
Eating gluten-free comes with plenty of challenges, but eating out is one of the biggest. That's why I'm excited to be showing you some of Calgary's fully gluten-free restaurants and bakeries. Arepas Ranch is a Venezuelan restaurant in Calgary Southeast and around town in their food truck. First, we'll be chatting with one of the owners, Carolina.
I'm Carolina. My restaurant is Arepas Ranch. We start at the beginning. We start with a food truck, and we are here for 4 years now. We start at the beginning of the market. So, and our menu is totally gluten-free. It's the whole menu. Yeah. We opened in December, like 6 years ago. We started with the food truck at the beginning, and then 2 years later, we start doing here when they open the market. Yeah. Our first idea was to open like a coffee shop, okay? And then one day we went to the Global Festival. And then we saw all the food truck and all the people selling there. And I say to my husband, oh my goodness, one day I want to be here. I like that. So just like this, we decide, okay, we're going to get a food truck. Okay, what are we going to sell? Arepas, because it's like the Venezuelan kitchen is arepas. We eat arepas the whole day, in the morning, at noon, at night. So, okay, we're going to do that. At the beginning, we were like lost because never doing kitchen like cuisine as our profession. So we start step by step, and people love the arepas, and we get more customer and more customer. And at the end, that's our way to live. That's our income source for us. And we love what we do. And now, in October, we open a location with my kids in Montreal. And we are doing also Venezuelan cuisine, totally gluten-free. And we have also partnership with the brewery in Eau Claire Market. We are starting doing the kitchen there. So in summer we hope to be totally operating there. We decided to become totally gluten-free because my son has intolerance to gluten, and we saw how difficult it was for him to eat outside. So we decided to take off of the menu everything that was with gluten, and try to help people that have problem with intolerance to that thing. For me, having a gluten-free kitchen is fantastic because there are people that have problem with gluten, and we are able to serve them And I think the most important thing to me maybe is to get the food truck that can go to events and see that people are happy to see there are in a festival and they can eat.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic to see the people that they have the option, that they don't have to stay there and see other people eating, but they have also the possibility to get something that they can be sure is not gonna harm them, is something that is gonna be good for them. Okay, yeah. Here we serve the arepas. Well, it's a cornmeal patty. We made that here from scratch, and what is in the recipe is only cornmeal, salt, oil, canola oil, and water. We don't add any dairy on that. And then we cook it here at the beginning. That goes in a grill. And then when people are ready to eat it, we pass to the toaster, so that becomes toasted outside and really fluffy inside. The arepas, we fill it with, we have the choice. Yeah, we have beef, we have beans, we have pork, we have chicken, and people can mix it the way they want. We have some that are already like ready, the mixture, but if people want to customize, they have the option to customize. We also serve the bowls, and that's with rice, normally black beans. We add either pork, pulled pork, or beef, and the plantain salad. We have also the vegetarian and vegan option. We have the patacon pisao. That's is like a sandwich, but instead we have plantain, fried plantain.
Oh.
No bread, no.
I've never had that.
Oh, that's really good and really, really toasty, really crusty. And we fill it also with beef or pork, whatever the people want. And we have recently introduced the empanadas, but the gluten-free empanadas is with corn. And also that then you have choice, beef, chicken, cheese, veggie. So, oh my goodness, my personal favorite, maybe the pabelloncito ball. Yeah. Because it's like, it's our national plate in Venezuela. It's the pabellon. And we have many flavors that are mixed there. So you can get like something a little sweet, something salty, something a little bit more spicy on the same plate.
Amazing.
I hope it's gonna continue growing. My son that is in Montreal, he's planning to open like in the mall, like little booth like this, and you sell like express arepas. He's planning that. He wants us to go with him. We are like a little bit because I think for us it's like more homemade food.
Right.
It's like the real taste. When you go through industrial, through commercial, it's not the same. The most important thing for us that people like our food. That's really important because I know it's not easy to try the food for other countries. Sometimes people like, oh my goodness, maybe I don't want, I don't like. So when I feel the receptivity of Canadian people here, that's important. That's really important for us. When people just come back to say, wow, it was wonderful, I like it, it was good, thank you. I want to make you taste like little sample, but you can taste it like almost everything on the menu, like arepas, empanadas, the patacón, the tostones, even the cachapa.
After chatting with Carolina, I was dying to taste the food, but I didn't want to do it alone, so I invited my friend Carly to come and join me to try the food and chat about her experience with celiac disease.
Yeah, I'm Carly Doherty, and I have celiac disease. I have had celiac disease for 7 years. It has definitely gotten a lot better in recent years, but when I started out, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm never going to eat out again. But I think things progressively get better, and there's more and more gluten-free options out there, and there's lots of restaurants that maybe even aren't 100% gluten-free that follow good protocol to provide food for people who have celiac disease now. And I think things are just getting better and better as time goes on. My grandma has celiac, and she's had it for about 12 years. And so that's when I first started learning about what it is and what it means to be gluten-free and how to cook for a gluten-free diet. And she's a really good baker, so she basically did all of that experimentation for me. And I learned a lot from her even before I was diagnosed with celiac. So then when I was diagnosed 7 years ago, I had somebody to reach out to, and she helped me out a lot, gave me a lot of recommendations for things that taste good and things not to maybe bake with or cook with. And so that helped me out a lot in the beginning because it was definitely a bit of a shocker when I first got diagnosed. Yeah, when I first got diagnosed, I had no reason to believe that I had celiac disease or an autoimmune disease. I just went to the doctor for a regular routine visit, and they did some blood work, and that was the first time I had ever gotten blood work. And my vitamins and nutrients were all over the place. So she sent me to get tested for celiac disease, and lo and behold, I tested positive for it. Yeah, I remember going home and going through like all my tea and stuff and throwing things out that I thought might have gluten in them because I didn't know that much. But yeah, since then I've learned a lot, and there's resources online. I've met people that I can ask questions to, and I feel like I'm in a lot more of a comfortable place with it now. I mean, it still has its difficulties, but it's not too bad nowadays. Yeah. Yesterday, actually, I was at Spruce Meadows Christmas Market, and they had a lot of frozen gluten-free food to buy, but they had absolutely nothing that you could just buy to eat while you were there. And I got very hungry because I was there for many hours, and we ended up eating a lot of tortilla chips because that was the only ready-to-eat option there. So yeah, that's one of those times when people might not think of it, but you just kind of go most of the day without eating and then have a big meal at the end of the day. It's not an allergy. It's autoimmune disease, so you can technically heal from celiac if you stick to a gluten-free diet, but the second you eat gluten again, you cause all that damage all over again. So you can't just have a cheat day or like eat a little bit of gluten. It's not like lactose intolerance or something where you just get an upset stomach, because it can cause some pretty serious health issues along the line if you consistently cause that damage by eating gluten. That's like the big one, I think.
Yeah.
It's also, I guess I could say it can be really annoying for me too. Like, I'm not choosing to have to eat gluten-free or have to go to a restaurant that can serve gluten-free. Like, I wish I could just go to any restaurant and make plans with my friends and go anywhere. And I don't really like being that person that always has to choose what restaurant we go to because I have to research everything before we go. So it's nice when people have some patience with that, because it can be frustrating for us too.
Yeah. This is my life every single day.
Yes.
I cannot not be like this.
Well, I also get, like, for example, my dad is not gluten-free, and he He goes to bakeries all the time and brings home baked goods because we don't cook with open flour in my house, so he brings home all the baking. But then if I go to a gluten-free bakery and also bring home gluten-free baking, he also wants to eat my gluten-free baking, which can be kind of frustrating because...
Especially when you paid twice as much.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, because I can't try his. So sometimes I don't want to share, and it's not because I'm not feeling generous, it's just because it's hard to get and it's expensive, and it can be kind of hard to share sometimes.